call the meeting of Budget and Finance to order. Any discussion from the floor from my fellow legislators? Hearing none, I'll move on. We have a presentation from 3 Realty Auctioneer Services. The first one on the list is Auctions International. Rich?
I had talked to the clerk and she agreed to let me take it go last.
Last, okay.
She shuffled the deck. Said I
Okay.
didn't allow it.
Second on the list then is Collar City Auctions. Randy?
I missed all that shuffle on the deck.
Well, he
He didn't think that he would be here in time, so I thought I would put him last, but
okay. Is that okay with my fellow legislators, or?
If he's here, why not stay with the original?
I mean, is there a worry that somebody else in the room is going to hear what somebody else is saying in their presentation? If that's the case, go into executive session to entertain each one individually. If that's what they're worried about, I don't know.
I think that would be a good idea.
Is that okay? I mean,
That's what the way most of them are done.
Okay. I have a copy. Okay.
I mean, if that's what they're worried about.
I'm just gonna
I don't know.
wait for
I'm not
Mary.
concerned, but I've done this many times. And sometimes when you go first, other auctioneers come up with other ideas, and you don't get to respond to them. When you're last, you get to respond to everything that you've heard. I've been doing it 25 years, and I had asked the clerk if I could go last.
But on the other hand, it wouldn't be fair for you just to be able to say, I want to go last, and not give everybody else the opportunity, so.
That's fair, but we don't need to go into executive session. We can just ask the other 2 groups to leave the room, and then we'll follow up.
Would that be okay with the other 2 auctioneer services?
No objection.
Okay, very good then.
Everybody's leaving, who's going first?
Rich, Rich, can you go first now? Because it doesn't matter.
I can come back in at the end.
Yeah, but not while they're presenting.
Yes, because to answer any questions, what happens in these cases are, some auctioneers come up with other ideas,
Okay,
and then you say, well, geez, I wonder if the other auctioneer would have done that. The other auctioneer doesn't have the chance to say, yeah, or explain himself that this is the kind of thing that, yes, it's in our proposal.
I just wanted to make it clear, we're not going to make a decision tonight,
That's
okay?
fine.
All right.
Also, I think that if we had that question, we could reach out and contact you.
I don't know coming in at the
Okay?
end. Okay, I want your business.
Absolutely.
I sincerely do. All right. Should I come in here?
Sure. Pass it out.
Do you all have copies of my proposals? I take it. These are just some of the books that we use, and I know you may all have these. My name is Russ Shear, and I'm from Auctions International, and I have been doing government auctions for 25 years and nothing else, full-time. The reason you haven't seen me in the past, or I had the initiative to say, geez, why didn't you hire me? I respect Ben Harrow. I love him, okay? He's my competitor, but he was a good guy, and he knew what he was doing. And therefore, I just didn't care that much. I have enough tax sales going on, but at this point, I would like to have the business. So these are all different, but basically, they're the kind of book we put out. Now, start to finish, you probably read my proposal. Do you have any questions?
One question I would have is, do you ever utilize the market listing service to
Yes.
offer your property
and it is in my proposal, that we list the properties in the ML system. Typically, in 3 days, they go nationwide to Realtor.com. Okay. Other things that we do are, we have 45,000 registered bidders on our website. I am the king of surplus in New York State. When we sell for almost every government agency there is in New York. I mean, up to the tune of 20 million plus a year. This means my website is busy. Every night at 6 o'clock, we have an auction 7 days a week. People watch my website faithfully. It's not when I have a tax sale or 2 or 5 a year, it's every night. I know that I'm going to increase attendance, and I know I'm going to increase prices. There's no doubt in my mind that I can do that. Basically, to start from the finish and not bore you,
Can I ask you briefly, let's get back to the MLS thing. Did you propose putting it on New York MLS or the Capital Region MLS? What was your,
New York, my New York MLS goes to Realtor.com, it goes to everybody.
so you're saying you put it on New York MLS, not
Correct.
the CRI?
Correct, yes. Okay.
One of the things that I would like to know is the personal service. Having somebody local, and I've had the opportunity to talk to you personally, and I know that you could bring a lot of people to it, but do you think you could give and tell maybe my fellow legislators the personal service is what I'm looking at?
Okay.
That's my biggest
I'm
concern.
involved, like Ed was, in every step of the way. I'm the guy that's in the van that's out photographing with my crew of 3 to 4. You know, we've got our computers with us and our cameras, and I'm on the ground. I know what's going on. When I get up to sell a property, I know the property. I can talk about it. I just don't, send somebody out to take pictures and then I get up there and sell it. I'm involved. That's important to me, and I've always been involved in every property that I've sold, and I love it. It's just what I do. I think some of the concerns that you may have, the forms, we can print the same forms that the Haroff company did. You just give me one copy of each of the forms that you want, and they would be matched identical. My software company is the same one as Haroff's. We print the same literature. There are tweaks that for every county is different, and that's where if I have yours, it'll be made identical to what you're used to. Sometimes the attorneys sign the deeds and the paperwork, and sometimes the county legislator signs them, and sometimes the treasurer signs the paperwork. So these are little differences that I need to know. I just need, you say to Russ, here's what we've been doing, and I want the same identical thing. You will get the same identical thing. The only difference is the service is going to cost you a lot less. And that I think is important to the taxpayers. Please ask away.
Well, you said cost us a lot less. I like that.
Right.
In what way will it cost us? I mean, the service is important, but how would it cost us a lot less?
Okay, our proposal is for 7% buyer's premium.
Mhm.
And that's probably 5.5% less than you've been paying, which is almost half.
Well, if I'm clear, we're not paying.
No, the buyer.
Okay.
The buyer's paying it. That reflects on the prices of the property. If you're paying $40,000 for a property, you've got to pay an extra 5%. That's an extra $2,000 out of someone's pocket, and they appreciate the fact that we're going to do it for a less buyer's premium.
Right.
And of course, they usually bid more for the county's property because they can fluctuate one versus the other. I can pay more because I'm paying less buyer's premium. Okay, yes.
I see, is the standard for you to do colored pictures of the property?
No. And that's something that I want to discuss with you.
Okay.
If you say to me, I want colored pictures, then you're going to get colored pictures. We have a $55,000 in-house copier, bigger than office space. When we pump out books, we pump them out 18 hours a day. Round the clock, we work. And if that's what you felt that you, I think for the general public and the size of the book that I put out with the information I put out, it pretty much is easy to read and see.
Okay. Now, that cost would be passed on to the buyers, correct?
There is no cost to the buyer. Buyer's premium only. I'm paying all the advertising.
All right, so there's no cost to the
Absolutely
county?
not. And what I like to do is, we'll print 300 for the county, unless the county says, well, we're used to passing out 500. We send them 300 at the beginning, we'll call them a few days later, how's it going? You need more books? We set them up, okay? We figure strategically 5 or 6 towns around the county, and we call the clerks and say, are you open every day? Would you mind putting the Cuyahoga, or the tax maps up here for Montgomery? And if someone wants to come in and pick one up, is that okay with you? They usually say yes. In our advertising, the advertisements will say, books available at County Hall, certain room, this town, this village, clerk's office. So there's multiple places they can get a book. That's our job. Marketing, marketing, marketing. Anyone can be an auctioneer, okay? It's not that hard. But marketing is everything. I pride myself on making sure every one of your counties is going to know that we're going to have an auction. I mean, I see other things going on where many people don't know there's an auction. They hear about it after the fact. My job is to make it known before the fact. Press release, I will write one, and it will be reviewed by whoever you'd like. It's usually tweaked by the county. And it's generic, it's not to hype Auctions International, it's more to say, we try to take maybe a picture of a featured property that's got a little bit of interest or desire, and usually the papers will pick up on that and print it in a heartbeat. I mean, they just love that. You couldn't buy front or second page for $10,000. You know, a press release is just unbelievable. Yes.
When you researched the property, in previous years, there's been some question about lots going for auction, whether they're road frontage or landlocked. Is that going to be better spelled out whether they are or
We
aren't?
call them what they are. If
Okay.
it's landlocked, we tell them it's landlocked. We really do a good job of investigation. We have all our computers with us, we have aerial views, we got it all. And then if we get stumped, then we come to County Hall and say, help us, Matt guy, you know,
Okay.
we're stumped on this. We don't get stumped very often.
So my question is, you're familiar with what Montgomery County has used in the past with ROP or whatever?
Yes.
So what would you do differently than what Montgomery County, regardless of whether it was ROP or any other auction company, what would you propose to do differently?
Well, I took the liberty for the first time in my life to go to a ROP auction. And I put up a board that's a bingo board. It's got all the numbers of all the properties, okay? Everyone can see what's coming up for auction, and that remains throughout the whole auction. When we get paid, we exit off. Others do it differently. They drop off the screen when they're paid, but if someone walks in late or is wondering, well, should I stick around? I'm the underbidder. Is it sold? Is it not sold? It's up there for the full auction. Bingo board, all the numbers of all the lots. And then and usually in the last minute, there's one that comes off before the sale starts. So you X that one off, you know, and the people know when they walk in, this is what we're going to sell today. And we announce that from the beginning of the auction, before the auction starts. If you're sitting in the audience and you're here for a certain property, this is the ones we're going to sell today.
My question would be more about marketing. What would you do marketing that would be different than any of the, what we've done in the past, or that your competitors?
Well, I put in here all the papers that I could find. And the penny savers alone came up to 99,000 delivered. So we figured we'd be more than covering all of Montgomery County by putting ads in all the papers. Okay. We also left a little space in there for the county to say, well, we'd like it here. In other words, I may have missed something. So all you need to do is tell me what you think I've missed, because there's a list of every place I propose to put an ad in. And we do multiple ads, we don't do just one. I don't know what the other companies do as far as other advertising. We have LoopNet we belong to, which is a commercial website for investors. Anything that would be commercial, we list in LoopNet. People pick up on that, they watch it faithfully. It's another website, it's a tool that buyers of commercial property look at. If you notice in my proposal, there is a questionnaire for environmental problems. It's optional. We don't fill out one on every house we go by. House is okay. If you say to us, Russ, if you think there's something out there we should know about, then we pull out the form and we write that one up if it's a gas station or something, if you desire. Some counties don't want us to look too hard. And that's something that, you guys would have to decide. You want us to use the optional form that describes we may feel there's an environmental problem or not. It's just that simple. I know I'm getting back to what am I going to do more than somebody else. The only thing I can tell you is the local papers, we advertise on AuctionZip. Is anyone familiar with AuctionZip?
Yeah.
I mean, that's 800,000
Yeah, it's big.
potential bidders. We have LoopNet. We have our 45,000 registered bidders on our website. Okay. My young people are Facebook and Craigslist insane. They can do things I can't do. They're all college educated. They sit on that computer and next thing you know, your tax sale is everywhere. I mean, and then once a week, twice a week, it's out there. They're putting it out there. We're geared for that. That's what we do. If anyone knows or watched my website for government surplus, we get more money for stuff than anybody. It's just insane. And I believe I can make a difference, given the opportunity here. And I would hope that you would try something different to see what the difference is.
Sure.
And I gave you the advantage of putting a buyer's premium in that was competitive enough that you could say, well, this one's a little bit cheaper and we're going to try it.
Okay.
Okay?
I believe I have some more questions to do
Yeah.
first. And then,
It's hard for me to frame this in a specific way, but,
It don't matter. I can take it.
well, yeah, right, it doesn't matter, I'm going to do it anyway. But with every auction, it seems, there's some irregularities. Something is listed wrong, some numbers are transposed, whatever. So just generally, how do you handle those things in general terms?
Listed wrong. I can't say honestly that I've had any listed wrong.
Well, I don't mean that you made the mistake. I come from another life too, so and we had some problems in auctions and.
We're good. I mean, we track down the tax ID numbers, we do the research, we pull up the tax maps before we go out. Everything in this book is printed except the picture. I mean, we're walking around with this book when we go out, plus our aerial views. And I mean, if you sense something's wrong, like this doesn't look right, or the house looks too good to be on the auction block, that's a red flag.
So you never experienced any irregularities during the bid process, or?
No, absolutely not. We do a good job, we really do. I pride myself on that. You could call any of my references and I'll tell you, we don't have any problems. Have we staked the property wrong before the sale? Yep. Okay. Probably a few, and it's usually a vacant lot somewhere. And someone will call the county and we'll go right back and we'll fix it and we'll apologize. And in my career of 25 years, I've only found one lady that I felt bad about. I sent her a big bouquet of flowers and she was okay. So I know how to put out fires. That's my job. I've got the personality to deal with people.
okay.
Thank you very much.
Tom?
Would you consider advertising, I'm not talking about going on CBS with a television, but local radio?
Has it been done in the past?
I mean, it's relatively cheap. the week before the auction or something, because some people just aren't reading the papers, or, that's question number one. And the hypothetical I had for you is, have you ever had an instance where you may have 3 properties side by side, all of them are vacant properties, and you say, all right, we're gonna bid them, and the highest bidder has a choice at all 3? Or do you sell these individually, separate, undistinguishably, they are only sold separately?
My recommendation is we do bid times 3. The person is buying all 3 times the bid. And the reason for that is they want to assemble them to make something. And if they're bidding on the first lot, they don't know if they're going to get the second one. And it's just fiasco.
But you don't give them the choice to back out of other 2 of them,
No,
one of them.
because it's bid times 3. Ladies and gentlemen, these 3 properties in a row, you're buying these properties, all 3 bid times 3. And when I'm selling, what I say is, all right, I'll go $200 times 3, what I'm bidding.
That's how you pronounce, that's how you present it.
$200 times 3, $400 times 3. So they know that they're paying $1,200, but they're getting them all. And they average out, because the guy who buys the first one and pays too much, the next 2 go for nothing, because the pie isn't there anymore. So.
All right, on the radio. You wouldn't do that, or you
Well,
wouldn't?
what have our sales been average? I mean, I don't know the dollar amounts, what you guys sell, 500,000 a year, 200, 300? It's kind of hard for me to say to you, I'll throw another 1,000 at radio when I don't know the real numbers. But let's say this much.
Sean would know our treasurer.
Like I said, it varies from year to year depending on what properties. We've had some auctions that have generated $750,000, and then we've had some that have only generated, say, $300,000-400,000.
Either one, I can live with that.
It's a case of
400,000
what type of property you have.
400,000 is $28,000 to me, minus advertising. If you want me to throw $1,000 at the radio, I will.
Well, I don't even think it would be that. I think you could almost advertise on local radio cheaper than you can buy an ad in the paper.
Sometimes, and I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, that's all. I just think it's,
I want this to be the most
People that-
successful auction you've ever had, because I want to be here for a very long time.
Okay. Is it, oh, Roy?
What, on your website, what can you display there for a specific property? Like as far
The book.
as of you?
When you scroll down to my website now, you'll see tax foreclosure sales at the bottom. It says information not there, coming soon, because until they give us what we're going to do, as fast as we get that information, we print the book. The book's online, in color, for everyone to print download. Picking up books today is getting less and less desirable because they can push a button, download the entire book in minutes. And that's where we're headed.
So there'll only be one picture of each property, sort of
Well,
property? Like you wouldn't display
no,
the
that's
deed?
not true.
You wouldn't,
It all depends on the property. Sometimes I have 3 pictures. I mean, if there's outbuildings in the back, we'll grab pictures of that.
something with a nice stream, you may,
Yeah. Yep. I mean, we don't necessarily take one picture, but we don't go around the back of a house and try to take a big back picture of the house. We typically take a front picture, and if it's something exciting and we know there's buyers in the back, we'll walk in the back and we'll take pictures for that too. One of my questions for you are, when do you redeem right up to the last minute, or do we have a cutoff date?
Of course, in the past few years, our auctions have been on a Wednesday. We redeem up to the Friday before.
Okay. That's okay.
Well, we can back.
Has there been a redemption fee for those who have to restate in the past?
Yes.
Okay. That's another thing. And I'm flexible on that, whether I have to even get a redemption fee. And obviously, if I'm going to stake 300 properties and sell 50, it sure would help. If I'm just going to stake 125 properties, well, I don't care that much. Our proposal says that we will accept 10% of what the person owes, meaning if they owe $500, we want $50 when they redeem their property. The maximum is 75. So if they owe $10,000 and they come in, it's not 10% of 10,000, it's 75 bucks. And it goes down. So that covers the cost of all the advertising we did, the radio we put in, the books, but it's a reasonable fee. I know sometimes auctioneers get 10% of what the taxpayer owes. I think that's insane, and I always have. So,
Well, going back, I just looked in your book, so it's more than just the picture. It has the plot map, it has the information. The only thing I don't see on here is like what the taxes were for the property at the time, previous owner, no.
yeah, well, some counties want it, some don't. We'll put it in if you want it. Previous owners can be embarrassing. Are you saying the past taxes?
Well, like the deed, which shows who owned it when it was sold, what the taxes were at that time.
I will put in my book whatever you want it for. Sometimes less is better than.
Well, I was wondering what your strategy would be then. You wouldn't want to put a former deed in there.
No, unless you say, Russ, I want it.
No, I'm not
Because
saying
the
that.
only thing I like to put in is what the current taxes are and the current assessment. Okay, that tells people a lot.
But again, I'm not seeing that in your book here.
Well,
Well, I'm seeing the assessment, yes.
Okay.
But I'm not seeing anything about the taxes.
It all depends on the county and what they want.
Okay.
You know, if you say to me, I'd like to see that in there, it's nice for people to know approximately, and we do approximately, we don't do exact because numbers change.
Yeah.
So everything is approximate. On the bottom of our page, it always says, for information only, buyer should verify, things like that. I mean, we put all our disclaimers that we think are important. I always have a cover letter in the front of, the auctioneer does, little tips and hints, you do your homework, you go out and look at what you're buying and all the things that you'll find in that book. But basically, I'll advertise them very well. I'll stake them personally. I'll be here for the auction. I do have an assistant auctioneer. We do record everything going on. We'll advertise the heck out of them. We'll have a successful sale. I will have at least 6 people, 3 for registering and 3 for paperwork. And what happens after registering, the other 2 go to paperwork. So there's 5 people taking care of whatever you want that day. We will print out as much information as you want. We're computerized, and I notice some auctioneers aren't. They register by hand, and they can't give you that data. We have scanners for our driver's licenses, so when we come up, we're fast. We scan it, done, and pretty much ask them, how would you like your property to be bought? Is this the name you wanted it? Tell us now, okay? And of course, at the end of every sale, there's always 10 people that want to change it to their aunt or uncle, and we just roll with the punches and get it done.
What is your protocol on if a bidder bids and then doesn't come up with the money
Okay.
defaults?
I like, and again, I always listen to the county and what they're used to and what they want. I like to have a 15-minute rule that you need to pay within 15 minutes. Come up to the counter, pay your deposit. Our computers have times on it. So we know when we ran out the receipt, what the bid was, who bought it, and I record the underbidder on a sheet. So 15 minutes go by, I'll yell out his name. You gotta get up there and pay. At some point, probably 20 minutes later, I will call and ask the underbidder if they want it for their last bid. So I'll record the $500 bid and the $475 bid. And if the $500 bid doesn't pay, we ask the underbidder to come up. At the county's discretion, we will resell it again. In other words, if the underbidder says, no, I don't want it, then I ask who's ever in charge, do you want us to resell it again? Or you can give me the go-ahead before the auction, so you don't even have to be involved. How do you want me to handle this?
And how about for the following year? Do you have a protocol for, say, someone defaults the first year, doesn't pay, do you allow him to come back next year?
No.
And
He's in our computer.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we've been known to be overridden by certain individuals, and we do what we're told, okay? And sometimes there's circumstances, for whatever that reason is, that you want to let that person bid again, we do what you want us to do. But they're marked as, they're blacklisted.
Okay, that's what I was interested in. Thank you.
Anyone else? Tom, again?
Last thing,
Okay.
when you do the auction, you do it? You're the auctioneer?
Yes.
I don't care to hear it, but
You want
some auctioneers, you can't understand what they're saying, and in a land auction, it could be, are you pretty?
No, I'm not like that. I can be like that. I go 35, I go 40, I go 45, or real estate is 500, now would he give 6? Would he give 6? Would he give
That's
6,
good.
700?
I understand it.
Now, one of the things that I do that most auctioneers don't do is I'll say going once, going twice, and if I'm at $1,000 and the next bid I'm asking for is 1,100, I'll say going once, going twice, do I hear 1050? Okay, trying to get that extra, because I know if I get one more bid, the other guy's going to bid again.
Okay.
And I will go down usually to $100 difference. When I started an auction, I announced that we take bids up to $525 bills, 50 to 1,000, $50 bills. Once we hit 1,000, it's $100 increments as a minimum. Or we'd be here all day doing $25, you know, 10.25, 11.25.
Right.
So we're at 11, 12, 13, 14. And when I'm doing 515s, you know, 2,000, and I'm at 2,000 and I'm stuck, I'll say to them, 2,000 once, twice, will anybody give me 2,250? Okay, last call, you know, 2,100. And I am better at sucking a dollar bill out of a rock than anybody will ever be.
Well, thank you, Russ.
Thank you.
No
I
other
believe we're
questions,
all
you guys
set.
are easy. Basically, everything that you've had in the past, you're going to get again.
Okay.
You're going to get it done cheaper, and my advertising, and I will pack the house. One of the things I know you've got a place that you've been doing it.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I would like to do a little research in case we could use a fire hall.
Okay.
If I can get the attendance for the last couple of years, I would like to analyze it and see where the people come from. You know, what part of the county? Because that would tell me if another location would be better than the one we have.
Right.
Okay? In other words, there might be a fire hall, and fire halls have beautiful bingo halls. And the fire departments love to cook. And it all works, you know, and everybody wins. And I do a lot of fire halls, and they're lit up. Some of these auditorium stage places in conference centers are dark and very dingy, and I don't know about the one that's been used in the past. But, I mean, I'm flexible, and I'll make suggestions, and I'll do what you tell me to do. Okay? And I'm going to stick around, because I want to come in before it's over, because somebody else might come up with something that I didn't think of, and I want to be able to ask it. Okay?
You might be auctioning off the one we used in the past.
Pardon me?
So that might be one of the properties that we used in the past.
Oh, really? That's not
Olive City.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be in the hall.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Just
you
a
for having me.
just a personal question, where are you from?
Buffalo. Just
Outside
outside
maybe the
Buffalo.
western part of the state.
All right.
Yeah, because you said fire hall, that's interesting, yeah.
Well, what do you call them here? Fire something?
House.
Firehouse.
Yeah.
I'm always working in a fire hall.
That's good.
And they got all the parking you need. And it's just, they're so fun to work with. I mean, they accommodate you early. And then we announce, make sure you support the fire department. Hot dogs and hamburgers are in the back, you know, they're cooking up a storm. And it turns into a warm and fuzzy auction is what I'm proposing. All right, I'll be around.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta get going here, right?
Supposed to be saying how best they do.
Randy, is it?
Yes.
Hi, Randy.
How are you?
Good. Oh, okay.
I'm Randy Castano from Pollard City Auctions Realty Management. I'd like to recognize my wife who was with me, who assisted me with the presentation tonight. I'd also like to thank the legislature for the opportunity to be here tonight, and Mr. Chairman, and distinguished elected officials, and also county attorney and Cheryl the clerk. I'd like to also thank you for selecting Collier City Auctions to participate in the bid process tonight. We propose the following in response to the Montgomery County request for proposals for professional auctioneer in marketing and conducting a public auction to assist Montgomery County with the RFP number 05-15. And basically what I would like to do is kind of give you a short scenario of our services. You have our proposal that I believe that you've spent significant time reviewing. So what I will do is I'll just go through some of the highlights and not take up a great deal of your time. For company description history, I am a member of the Certified Appraisers Guild of America, International Association of Appraisers, head up a vast staff of licensed and bonded auctioneers, certified appraisers, and professionals at Collier City Auctions Realty and Management. And we have been involved in conducting real and personal property auctions and conducting appraisals and municipal auctions for surplus equipment and real property tax foreclosures for 29 plus years. We are licensed and bonded auctioneers, real estate brokers in New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire. And we are basically in your backyard. We're based out of Montgomery in Schenectady County. And we do travel throughout New York and the other states providing the same services. Our auction expertise is we routinely conduct tax foreclosed real property tax auctions as well as surplus equipment auctions for many municipalities, state and government agencies, and individuals both on-site, off-site, as well as online worldwide auctions. Each auction is advertised via newspapers, email campaigns, extensive social media such as Facebook, Google Ads, and YouTube, brochure mailings, and our website. Detailed catalogs and brochures containing the description of each property to be auctioned, posted on our website. They're distributed throughout the county, outside the county, on a statewide basis to let the world know that your properties are being auctioned on a particular day and time. We shall provide computerized clerking, purchase contracts, lead-based paint disclosure, agency relationship disclosure, the TP 584 forms, and these are fully, as well as fully completed deeds post-auction in Word format. So we will basically take the auction from beginning to end, including the preparation of your deeds in a format that's suitable for the county attorney to file those deeds. All forms that are required by New York State will be completed at the auction, including the TP 584, the real property lead paint disclosure, and the disclosure notice. We will provide online auction services to assist with the sale of any leftover properties. This will be achieved through our established online auction through CollierCityAuctionsOnline.com. That would include any properties that you may not get any bids at the auction, or if there's defaults, if they don't come in and pay their balance due by the specified date and time post-auction, we can assist that way with the, if there are any left over after the auction. Usually, historically, 1 to 3 or 4, possibly, out of potentially 100 properties included in an auction that we've seen, where you may have a small sliver of land, landlocked piece that may not get any bids. So we will still, we just don't stop at the day of the auction. We still try and get the property sold and get it back on the tax rolls for you. We do own and maintain our own ArcView GIS program and request that the county please provide us with shape files and aerial photos with overlays. Rick Voris, who could not be here tonight, his daughter has a recital and he cannot be here, but we'll pass out some information to you. Would you give that information, please? And I won't go through it, but the last page of this information is some information from Mr. Voris, who is our GIS specialist, just explaining some of the information that he will do and what his portion of the auction process consists of. The auction services portion. Upon receipt of the property list and information from the county, we will design, prepare, produce, and implement the following policies and procedures in cooperation with the county. We will visit each property and install a sign on that property which will highlight the auction, date, time, location, company name, website, and phone number. So we don't use just a generic sign that just says real estate auction with a website. It actually gives you the date, time, location, and to go to our website for further information. So it's on the sign, which is, we have found it's specific. That way, if you're an adjacent property owner and you want to go and bid on the property, you'll know it's going to take place on, June 30th at 11 a.m. with the location. If you need further information about that, you can just call us or go to our website for the complete details. But the basics, we try not to overload the sign with information, but the essentials really need to be there. And that's what we put on there. The auction brochure. Auction brochure is one of the key components to your successful auction. We highlight full color brochures, gloss color brochures, professionalism is what I strive for. Your properties, the presentation of Montgomery County properties is essential, that we give you the best look that we can possibly provide for you, whether it's a small vacant strip of land, or if it's a improved property. In the brochure as well, we list all the terms of the auction, and we also have a sample purchase and sale contract so that a buyer has the opportunity to have their attorney review the contract prior to the auction, which fulfills any attorney approval clause. They have the opportunity to have it approved prior to review and approved. Essential, really essential for purchase contracts. We also have the lead-based paint disclosure, which is required by New York State, agency relationship disclosure. So they're printed in the brochure, so when prospective buyers have the opportunity to review them with counsel or themselves prior to coming to the auction. So when they come in to bid, they will come in and they will complete the registration, which they can also do prior to online through our website. They will be able to go on the website, complete these forms online, click submit. We'll have all the information. We'll have an express registration line at the auction. They will come in. The last thing that they'll have to obtain will be just their bidder number. Their other forms will all be done. Literally come in, show us their driver's license, sign the bidder card, they're on their way. It takes a matter of seconds. So it really cuts down on the long lines that we've all seen at a lot of the auctions. So that's something new that we're implementing that we will have up and going in the very near future. It's in the final stages right now. But again, color brochure, display advertising is essential, not small ads. We put in 2-column by 3-column by 5 inch length so that your ad stands out regardless of what paper it's being advertised in. So the full color brochure will also contain Montgomery County history, attractions, photos, and property information, the auction dates, times, locations, full auction terms, as I said, and information about pre-registration and the location of the auction, as well as where the information meeting will be. So pre-registration will also take place at the auction informational meeting, which will be scheduled sometime within the week before the auction. People can come. I believe that Mr. Haroff did an informational meeting for you. People come to that, they can get questions answered, locate properties through their GIS mapping system, and kind of make them feel comfortable prior to them coming to the auction. The internet. Our website consecutively obtains between 200 to 250,000 hits monthly from individuals searching for real property auctions, brochures, auction terms, lot-by-lot catalogs, when applicable, and photos are made available on our website for 24-hour access. So the brochure is available on the website. It will also be available through your website, and I'll get a little bit farther into this, but we will also create a detailed, dedicated Facebook page for the county, which can be linked to your website, our website, which will have all the auction information on it, and have instant updates at any time from the beginning that we start the project until post-auction afterwards. Yes?
Will somebody from the county have access to add information to that?
Absolutely. That's one thing that also...
Their administrator?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. We both would be administrators. one thing also is that I personally will be your contact throughout the auction process. Any questions, myself, I will be in touch with all of you, anyone that's designated to be in charge of the auction. I've worked with former Mayor Duchesne in the past in Amsterdam, and we had some good results in Amsterdam, and I think you can vouch for that part of you working.
I was gonna ask you about Schenectady County. You're doing Schenectady County this Saturday?
Yes, this Saturday.
Did you work for them last year?
I have conducted the Schenectady County auction consecutively every year since 1997, with great success every year. And this year is actually a small number of properties. Normally it's about 100 properties.
Yeah.
This year it's a small auction for Schenectady County, but it averages normally about 100. November 20th, we have the Rensselaer County auction. There's 87 properties there we'll be conducting in Troy. But we handle quite a few municipalities around the state, Oswego County. As far as marketing, we do conduct a very extensive marketing campaign through local, regional, and national media sources such as daily and weekly newspapers and trade publication. Your auction will be advertised in 285 plus newspapers, media sources, and publications reaching over 6.4 million individual readers. That's what we propose to do for your marketing. Colorado City Auctions pledges to spend approximately $35,000 in marketing and auction expenses to ensure that the Montgomery County Real Property Tax Auction is as successful as possible. And please note that in order to have such a vast amount of monies available to promote the auction, it's critical for our fee structure to be approved as contained in our proposal. Colorado City will go the extra mile to spend monies earned out of our buyer's premium, because it costs the county nothing for our services, to ensure that your auction is successful, transparent, see that the process is used, staff, employees, and elected officials, are not put out there for criticism because of the transparency portion of it, because the auction creates such a level playing field. We will send notice to all auction persons on a county mailing list if you have a mailing list that you would like to have brochures sent to. We also will send all adjacent property owners will be notified of the auction. We'll post signs on all properties where practical, prepare a detailed PowerPoint presentation, which will be utilized at the auction, and anything up to date last minute changes can be done even the morning of the auction on that. Provide adequate staff to register bidders, provide auction day assistance, activity assistance, and collect payments. So we will collect all payments and then turn the monies over to a designated representative from the county, the down payments from the auction. So Colorado City Auctions will supply all adequate staff to take care of, handle all of the items proposed in our proposal. We will also use prescribed forms for finalizing bids as provided and agreed to by the county. Supply the county with a list of all registered bidders post-auction. Videotape the auction, critical. A videotape of the auction from beginning to end. Oswego County, the videotape there had the county prevail in a lawsuit from an auction. The videotaping, I'm not sure if it's being done now, but it's essential. We do provide a copy of that post-auction to the county. And again, we will prepare the deeds by SBL and deliver to the county post-auction in Word format and in a format prescribed by the county, so that the deeds will be done and ready for filing. Similar undertakings, Colorado City has been providing professional auctions and real estate services for 29 plus years, focused on municipalities since 1996, and we have offered and sold in excess of 20,000 properties since then. And we work for many, many municipalities. I won't go into taking the time to go through the list. But as far as the cost portion of it, there is no cost whatsoever to the county for our services. We would collect a 10% buyer's premium, which is customary in the auction industry, from the buyer, a $100 advertising fee, which will be paid by the buyer in addition to the bid price, which we feel is critical in order for us to be able to spend $35,000 marketing and auction campaign to promote your properties, to generate the dollar return as significant as possible. And then we also propose an option of a redemption fee which would be a $500 redemption fee, which $250 would go to the county to offset county expenses incurred for staff. You know, you incur time, effort during the day, people coming in for redemptions. You should be entitled to be compensated for that. So that's what we're proposing to implement that $500 fee, which $250 going in the county, $250 going to Collier City, because really we're acting in some ways as a collection agency. As soon as our sign goes up on the property, people start coming in to pay. And that's the reality of it, and that will help stimulate those funds to come in. Optional, material, marketing materials you've seen. In my concluding statement, I would just like to thank you for the opportunity to submit a no-cost proposal to Montgomery County. We look forward to providing you with outstanding state-of-the-art professional auction services. And again, Montgomery County is right in our backyard since we're based in Schenectady County. And I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Any questions?
Tom?
Hypothetical,
Yes.
3 properties, all for sale, all on the auction block, they're right next to each other.
Yes.
One is probably no good without the other because of building lot size, whatever. How would you sell those properties, or how would you propose to? Would they be sold separately? Would they be 3 times whatever the money's bid, or?
I don't have any to show you in the Schenectady County brochure, but the Rensselaer County brochure, we have that same situation. Those properties are then combined. They're being combined, they're being sold, they're adjacent to each other. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3.
There's a couple of different ways you can do that, and I would leave the decision totally up to the county. Sell them together as one lot, one bid price, I'm saying. They could be transferred on 3 separate deeds, 3 separate transactions, but they can be sold as one bid price. What we would do is we would split that bid in 3 different ways by 3, do 3 separate purchase contracts. So they would all go to the same buyer for one bid, to answer your question. That's one option. Option 2, they could be offered individually, and then, or as an entirety bid. So either way, they could be sold, but most of the time they're being combined.
Because if I bid on one and left the other 2, and really the other 2 are no good now,
Correct.
because you needed the one,
Right.
so you're suggesting you wouldn't do that?
No, absolutely
It would be
not.
either somehow
They
put them
need to be
together.
sold together. They should be sold together. They should be combined. Part of what we do when we go out and inspect the properties to put signs on them, we will get back to you and say,
It's good, that's what I want to.
right, we will, if
Thank
we
you.
see that situation, we'll be right on the phone from on the road. And I personally go out and inspect the properties with my staff, with Rick. And we go out and we put the signs up and we analyze that and come back to you and give you a report and say, hey, these 2 properties or 3 properties, they should be sold together.
We just don't want to have a situation where somebody doesn't understand how they're bidding or buying the property.
No,
So if you're saying, look at, all 3 of these properties are the same price times 3, or they're all one property at one price, you spell that out to the
Absolutely.
audience.
In the packet, do you have one of the sample brochures that shows that? Because that, excuse me one second, I have that scenario I can show you, I'm pretty sure it's here. You can answer them, too.
Cool with the idea.
Yeah. So now if you're combining all those properties and there's a change to break it up by 3, does that mean there's 3 different bidders? Call it buyer's premium?
If it's sold for one bid, it's one buyer's premium. One buyer's premium. Yeah. I think this will answer your question here. You'll see that this is boxed in the brochure. It says parcels 55, 56, 57 have been combined as one tract.
Gotcha.
They were sold as one bid, 3 separate contracts because they're 3 separate SBLs.
Gotcha.
Unless the county attorney told, unless you told us that you would like.
I think we're more focused on, we want to know that the bidder knows what they're, so there's no misunderstanding what's being bid,
Absolutely.
and I'm good with that.
Okay.
I like the way that's
Yeah,
mapped
that's
out
how I
right
saw it.
there.
Anyone else like to see that?
Which,
anything
It
we
actually
box
is
it
mapped right
through.
out so you can
It just
see.
so happens that there's two here. These were done that way and these three. That's a former airport, and they wanted the properties to all stay together.
Yeah.
So they were combined, 55, 56, 57 have been combined as one tract. So when
They're gonna
I,
come back to us with
Right.
this.
so when I got to that number, I announced that they're being sold as one bid
And
price.
it's pretty clear here.
Yes, and I explained it in detail. It's also up on the PowerPoint.
But they don't think that they don't necessarily think that we combine those properties at the county level as one deed. I don't want them to think that. You know what I mean?
No, because there's 3 separate purchase and sales contracts.
Gotcha.
3 separate
Yeah,
contracts.
I like that, the way that it's
Right,
mapped out.
yes, absolutely. And as I said, it's on the PowerPoint, it's in the brochure, and I announce it, and I'll ask before I actually entertain the first bid, does anyone have any questions? Does everyone clearly understand that one bid is being
Or ever how
out there? Right, however, for all 3 properties. That's a very good question. What other questions?
I just have a quick one. When you describe a property, would you ever say it may have road frontage or may not, or it may be landlocked? You know, would you be precise or, you know, actually know every detail of the property and print it?
Yes, in the brochure, if you look, you will see landlocked. It says landlocked, it says paper street, it says off paper street in the description,
What's paper street?
under the inspection. What, paper street? Paper
Never
street,
been it's been proposed but never accepted by.
You real estate guys know that.
never developed. Right, it's there on paper,
Right.
but it's not being used. I mean, it's probably overgrown just the way the rest of the land around it looks.
Right.
But there is a paper street there. So in some cases, a property that's off the paper street may not be landlocked, even though it looks like it is.
Because there's actually a street there.
Right. It's just not developed. It's not developed, right? Yes, so we do label those in the brochure. They're announced at the auction. They're also on the PowerPoint, whether they're landlocked. The lot sizes are in there. And as I did put in my proposal, which I didn't elaborate on because I don't want to take a lot of your time, we will look and research on properties that we feel warrant what the traffic count is, how far away other major development is. So it's noted in the brochure for prospective buyers.
Okay.
What county is that, Terry? That thing is
Pardon me?
in- What county is it?
That's Oswego.
Oswego.
Oswego County.
Randy, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
One, do you feel that there's any advantage to putting the properties in a multi-listing service? And if so, would you use New York State MLS or CRMLS? Or do you not feel that that's appropriate?
Well, if you were going to strictly sell the properties in a brokerage atmosphere, traditional brokerage, then the MLS would be the way to go. I think I would lean more towards the New York State MLS to try and draw more activity. Also, for the residentials, but for the commercials, then it would definitely be the CRMLS would be the way to go in the side of our right. But that's if you were just going to do traditional sales. With the auction, putting them into the multiple listing service and then trying to auction them, historically I've seen does not work. They're not fresh to the market at that point, they become stale.
So the last question is, you're familiar with what we've used in the past. You're familiar with the vendor that we used in the past.
Yes.
What would you do differently to improve the process from what we currently have?
What we would do to improve it would be significantly more extensive marketing, full color brochures, a lot of social media promotion, which is key today. The signs on the properties would have the date, time, location, the year, so that they would be specific to the auction. Those are the main things that come to mind right off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you remove the signs Do you remove the signs after the auction is done?
We ask the purchaser to remove the sign within 5 days. If it is not removed, we will remove it. Definitely. the last thing that you want is,
There are a lot of those floating around in the town.
yes, if it's not removed.
I pick them up, put them on my friend's houses.
Listen, that happens all the time. When the signs first go up, the first few days we'll get a call from somebody, why is there a sign in my house? Well, your neighbor moved it over. Yeah, any other questions?
I think you're all set.